Welcome back to Naughty Corner Gaming, and today I'm talking about Halo Flashpoint because, yet again, I'm a moron. So this is actually my second attempt because the audio didn't work in the first one because I don't know why. It just didn't. So we've now invested in the Rode 2 wireless mic system. Thank you to what was TNG, to Warriors Forge, Kaya, Chris, and Courtney for helping me out with this recommendation just to make something that's just guaranteed to work because I don't want to film this again. So in today, we're just going to look at the unboxing of Halo, look at how cool it is, and then we're going to start talking about like what you get, how it's all cool, and the passion that comes across, whatever, when playing this little game of joy. If you've been living under a rock, which, you know, we're wargamers, we might actually, you may have seen that around sort of January time, Halo Flashpoint released, and they released two editions, the Recon and the Spartan edition. Spartan edition is the Big Daddy version. It's the only one worth really getting, but if you want just a simple taster, the Recon edition will help you. But in this, we get a ton of miniatures, we get some scenery, which I've had to build, then disassemble, and then show you how I'm going to build it again because, yeah, fuck it. It is what it is. And I've already punched off all the tokens and stuff like that, and I've had a couple of players games. So I feel I'm a bit more informed now than I was previously when I came to make this, because it was a bit more of a, oh my god, it's so pretty. And then I realised that in actual fact, it's pretty, but it's also a cool game. So without further ado, I just want to get into what you get in the box, how it works, and like the basic mechanics of the game, because what I've realised is that there's a lot of GW and 40k monkeys out there who don't understand that other game systems exist. Welcome to the Naughty Corner. We're going to help you make poor decisions. I make them on a daily basis. Look at what I've just bought. You know, it's just an ongoing metaphor for my life of just like, let's just make mistakes and let's just learn from them and have fun whilst doing it. As long as you're doing that, we're probably all right. Now I'm just going to take a moment out of making this lovely video, but to just talk about, like, in general, I think this is a really good value box. Like, there's loads of minis that you can paint up. You don't need to, because it kind of falls into that board game / war game thing. I'm probably going to paint them up. They won't be painted for the first couple of videos because life is busy and I'm not a great painter. Never will be. So with that, what we're going to do is we're going to snap to a very quick and simple gaming board. So get ready for that gaming montage. Part of the videos, just so you get an idea of what the game Halo is like. And so first things first is obviously there's command dice. These are rolled at the start of the turn, and these are just to give you some different bonuses. And the main thing here we're talking about is actions. And we're going to go through a couple of example actions using our example and first scenario layout, which is available in both boxes. But let's just go a bit more on how these dice mechanics work. So in Halo, very much like the Dead Zone game, every dice test starts off as 3 dice, and then you typically add more dice for different conditions, such as having a clear shot, the high ground, being crouched, or any other bonuses relating to your card. For example, Optics, which is on the Spartan Deadeye that I have here, would give you +1 dice. There's other benefits to it as well. This also works on, they call it a headshot, but basically it's exploding 8. So as long as you roll an 8, what that means is you get to roll another dice. And this is then a cumulative comparison. So let's say I get 5 hits to 3 defenses. This would mean that I take out 3 here, take out 3 here, and I'm left with 2 overall. When it comes to our character cards, we have a speed, which is 2-3. That means this is a short action, which is an advance, or a sprint, which is a long action. Then the RA is our range attack value. So on range attacks, we need a 5+. On a FI, that is fight, which means on a 3+, we work in combat. Save is effectively our defensive save, how much armor we have and how many hit points we have. Now, obviously, Halo is a respawn game. In the opening mission that we're going to practice here, that is not going to be the case, but we're just going to give you an idea of how some of these different actions and mechanics works. There is obviously also keywords across the top. So Energy Shield 2 just means that there's 2 shields they have to get through beforehand. Okay, ESD1 means that if it's not you hit, you knock out a shield before you resolve any of the remaining dice. AP is our armor penetration, so we can see here that in actual fact, if we had this brawler and he was within range 2, he would be able to ignore the AP. So if the shield's down and the AP and he got 4 successes, that would potentially knock out a model in this game. So here we have our dense battlefield. If you can see, hopefully you can see our Deadeye up here nice and high. With our Brawler, we have our Zester, and then hiding here is just our standard Spartan Mark II. Now, interestingly, when it comes to movement, okay, this game is based off cubes. So what that means is that each one of these is a cube. So if I want to move one, I can move anywhere within this vicinity and be safe. Okay. When it comes to sprints and actions, obviously you can't just suddenly go up 2 levels. Okay, you'd have to go round, but you can go diagonal in this movement, making life really straightforward from a gameplay point of view. What we're going to do is normally you'd expect a roll-off of a single dice, and the highest dice would allow the player to go first. What we're going to just make our lives easy and do is we're just going to play out the game for 2 actions and just show you how to get into combat, how to sprint, and how to just do some basic dice rolls here so that you get the idea of whether this is something you should be playing. And I'm going to tell you now, it should. It's a nice, quick and easy game. So what we're going to do is we are going to actually start with the red team over here, and we're going to activate our Svesta. Now, before the game actually starts, it does get a scout move. So what that means is we are going to get to take a movement into an adjacent square. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to go here, ready to activate in a minute. But what we're going to do first is, in actual fact, we're going to go with our Brawler. Now, our Brawler is going to have a lot of fun. He is just going to make a advance, which is not the short. We're going to do the sprint, which is the long version. So he would normally get to move 2, but in this case, he will get to move 3. So we're going to go 1 up to here. Then we're going to go 2, and then we're going to go 3 and hide. Now, what this means here is obviously we are pretty well hidden. We use true line of sight rules in this game. So obviously, as this Deadeye up here would be able to shoot the model, but because it is down there and we can't see its full body, we would say that it's obscured, so we wouldn't get any bonuses. Now, in the event that in actual fact we were crazy and we fancied going up here, because we could go 1, 2, 3, okay, we would argue that there is no cover. And for the purpose of this, we're just going to show you what this would mean in the benefit of our game. So each model is going to start with 3 dice. We're going to shoot our Deadeye. So Deadeye is going to have the black dice. Our Brawler is going to have the white dice. So as there is no cover, this would mean that the shot would get 2 extra dice. And I also have the high ground over that model. Now, as a short action, I can shoot, but I can also crouch. This would give me another dice bonus. So in actual fact, I'd be rolling this many dice, looking for what it says on my combat card for my Deadeye, which is a range attack of 3+. The save on my brawler is a 5+, and therefore this is what I'm going to need to roll. So I'm just going to do this. If the brawler was in cover, sorry, was crouching, he would get an extra dice. And obviously if I didn't have a clear shot, I wouldn't get these 2 extra dice. So typically it's adding dice, we don't take dice away in Mantic games. So here we go, I'm going to go for some 3+s and hope for some explosions. And in actual fact, that is a subpar and average roll, and this will be really helpful for us. So I've got 3 successes, there was no explosions. He does have optics, so I do get an extra dice as well, which does mean nothing. And then on the defense, I need 5+s. So here, had another abysmal roll. So that means no successes to 3, that means 3 are going through overall. So what we're going to do is we're now going to go over to our character card and we're going to start resolving those elements. So first things first, he's going to lose both his shields, which will get rid of 2 dice from this pool. As there is no armor pen on the gun, the armor chinks the other one, and in actual fact, he takes no damage. Our brawler is still alive. It's now time for our Sylvester to activate. In actual fact, it's feeling pretty confident and cocky. It's going to have a pot shot at the Deadeye, and in this case, obviously, the range of the gun is 6. There is no AP, but it does have optics and rapid fire. We're not going to resolve rapid fire today, but we are going to keep with optics. So on this, I can see that I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 squares away. I don't have the high ground because the Deadeye is actually higher up than myself, and I don't have a clear shot because he's hiding against the edgings. So that would just mean that I would get 3 dice and then an extra dice for optics, and then on the defense I just get 3 dice plus an extra one because I crouched. And this would be resolved, this would be marked with one of these lovely tokens. So here we go. So this time the Vesta is on a range attack of a 4+, so we're looking for, ooh, nothing great there. And then defensive on the Spartan Deadeye is 5+s. So here we've got 3 saves to 2. So cancels out those. There is still a save left over, but that doesn't matter. That means there is no damage done by our Svesta to our Deadeye. It's now time for our final activation of the turn, and what's going to happen here is our Mark II is going to take a short action, and he's going to go into combat with our brawler that is here. Now, interestingly, technically, if we look at this, assault is a long action, but brilliantly, when we take a move, what that means is we get to make a free assault action. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up around to here. So 1, 2, I'm going to go in the square with him. And this is why now, if I was shooting, there'd be potential friendly fire. And what I do is I'm going to just do the exact same thing again. So I'm going to grab my dice. So I get 3 dice on the defense, I get 3 dice on the attack, and then I get 2 extras for moving into the square. My Mark 7 has a fight of a 4+, so let's see if we can get an explosion finally. We do not, and we just get 3 go through, and then 5. Okay, so 3 to 1, that means that 1 goes out, that means 2 go through. So in theory, because the brawler has armor 2, that means there is no damage. But if we look at the Mark II's card, it does have AP2 and ESD1. So that would mean that if there's any shields in place, it would deplete one of them first. But in actual fact, because there's no armor, that does mean that our brawler has taken 2 points of damage. So hopefully, just a simple action there. D8s, nice and easy. Okay, you just roll them, look for 7s and 8s or whatever your hit value is. And you can think about, like, oh, well, this game's too easy, it's not going to be fun. Shut up. It is. The main reason being is that if you look in the actual rule book, which I'm now going to just dig out for you crazy individuals, okay? 1, there's a War Games pack coming. By the time this video releases, it's probably already out, so shut your mouth. And secondly, you don't just get to play shooty, killy, which, you know, I'm not averse to. There's actually a wide range of different scenarios. We don't need to play our first game, we've done it, okay? So we can play Slayer, which is kill. We could play Oddball, which is about oddball markers. Don't know what they do, but it's a game mode. Capture the flag, nice and easy capture the flag game mode, okay? Got strongholds where you're defending different things. Yeah? Then we've got stockpile, which again, keeping little power station markers. There's 5 different game modes in the core book itself. You've got 8 different Spartans, so you can pick your 4 team and change and play and decide what sort of style you want. If you think there's no depth to it, there's probably no depth to you. So we don't care about your opinion. But if you have got a decent opinion, you might want to leave it in the comments. You might also want to follow for more content, but I doubt that because we're a bit shit here, and I don't expect you to. So yeah, so we're going to wrap it up there. Maybe see you next time. Probably won't, but just make poor decisions. It's the best way to do it.